Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, not Twitter. Twitch, not Twitter, for our WWE Day 1 pay-per-view roundtable review. First time I am live on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel for 2022, joined by my esteemed colleagues that were here with you last night to watch along WWE Day 1. First up, we have the lead producer of True Hill Heat, the face and the ace of the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon.
Happy New Year again, everybody. If you're on the YouTube channel, hey, make sure you vote in that poll. What did you think of Day 1? How do you rate it?
Yes, I saw somebody on Twitter ask you if you're the main producer. So that's going to be a part of my intro. Anytime I introduce you now, you are the main producer. I might as well give you the title since you've already taken on the role. And we have with us the true draw of the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, my main man, the man with the hot takes and the sarcasm, True Draw Josh.
What's up? How's it going?
Absolutely. But yes, we are here to talk about WWE Day 1. So please let us know in the live chat, in the comment section, if you're watching on demand, what you thought about the pay-per-view, what you think about our new WWE champion, what do you think about Roman Reigns missing out on the show due to testing positive for COVID-19, or the panorama, as Miss Christy Love likes to call it. What do you think about the Usos and the New Day opener? What do you think about the Migos with RK Bro? We want to know all of that. Live chat, in the comment section. If you want to show your support for the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, help out the channel greatly. Super chat donations are encouraged and appreciated, and we will highlight your comment, your hot take, your question on screen with us. But I usually do this for AE Ramble, but I do this for the roundtable now. One word to describe WWE Day 1 to all of you guys. Romeo, you want to start us off?
COVID.
Yeah, that's one word to call it. Josh?
Man.
Also understandable. And remember, guys, drop a thumbs up on the video. Helps out us a lot. Hit the subscribe button if you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Just under 90 subscribers away from 2K. We want to hit that goal in this first month here. And we got a couple of comments already in the live chat. Thank you guys for joining with us. We got CM, who says, in about 24 hours, billionaires said F the black people, the black folks. Yes, like what my name says, SP3, aka Wrestling Hates Black People. I meant to say in 2022, but you know, I'll just leave it like it is. It's still true. Then we have also Chase Oliver saying his one word to describe WWE Day 1 pay-per-view was average. So we gotten that from both of you guys. We also got our good brother, one of our Patreon backers, Alan Weinstein. Want to say shouts out to him. Happy Sunday, Happy New Year to Mr. Weinstein joining us in the live chat, guys. Remember, you can put your thoughts on WWE Day 1 in the live chat. Romeo, you are usually the quarterback on the driver of the DeLorean on True Rewind, which will be back this month in January. Don't you worry, folks. So, why don't you take it away for WWE Day 1 from January 1st, 2022.
Day 1 was in the ATL Atlanta. And you know what? This crowd was hot. I don't care if they were who was a seat filler, whatever. They did their job, whatever. They looked into everything. Did they not?
Yeah.
Even if they were acting their asses off. I don't know.
I mean, they probably got paid to say it, to cheer for it, but I mean, this crowd was definitely into a lot of the show. Like, I had people hitting me up because I had certain comments about certain performers not having the loudest pop, and they got a pretty good pop on this show. So yeah, this crowd was into the show.
Let's start with the announcement before the show, which was at around, I want to say 6 Eastern. When WWE announced Roman Reigns had COVID, tested positive earlier in the day. Roman would tweet himself saying that he wished he could be there, but unfortunately he tested positive, and he looks forward to being back soon. And they announced, hey, we got to do something with Brock Lesnar. So he's in the Fatal 4-Way added to the WWE title match during the show. Brock Lesnar, an interview with Caleb Braxton, basically said his advocate was able to procure that placement in that title match, and he said he's gonna win, and that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler with a nice little wink to the camera. What did you guys think when you first heard this announcement of, first of all, that Roman has COVID? We wish all the best for him. We hope it's not serious. He is vaccinated, and hopefully he gets back to the ring real soon. And also that they throw Brock Lesnar into the other title match. What was your first thought, Sid?
I was not surprised because of everything that we heard during the week as far as Roman Reigns. It was the more we heard about the shows that he was being taken off of, the less we heard about it as well. It led you to believe that there was smoke where there was smoke, there was a fire going on. So this was the worst case scenario for WWE with their biggest full-time star not being able to be on the show. But you still have one of your biggest stars in Brock Lesnar, so it only makes sense to put him into the main event. So I think that WWE made the best of a worst case scenario.
Were you thinking the same thing, Josh?
Yeah, pretty much, because for a while we were hearing that he was being taken off shows. So, I thought it was just going to be protocol. I didn't know he was going to actually have COVID, but
yeah.
Those people who think that it's a storyline, I think that's pretty bullshit. Just because, like I said, you're not going to promote your first show of the year. You're not going to promote your first show of the year for months. And Roman Reigns is your face of that show. You see all the advertisements. You see the graphics. You even see the graphic here in the background. And you're telling me they're going to take him off last minute, the day of the show. They're going to take him out just for that. That's where it got pretty stupid when people started thinking that. I mean, don't get me wrong, WWE would do some dumb shit like that, but I don't think this was the case in this situation.
This is about the second time that people have accused either WWE or Roman Reigns of faking a real life illness, a real life sickness. You're the same people that are trying to accuse WWE of saying that this is a storyline that he got COVID-19. It's the same people that believed it was a storyline that he got leukemia. And for those people, I will say it is a brand new year. Do some new things like going outside, touching grass, talking to actual human beings. Because if you believe all this stuff, you are too deep in the rabbit hole that WWE have put you in.
There's certain things to get on WWE for, and maybe one of them is like, why are you stopping COVID testing right now? I don't understand that, but
that is one. That is a better question to WWE and a better accusation to make towards them. What the hell are you doing right now?
Let's start from the ending, the fatal 5-way for the WWE Championship. Kevin Owens versus Seth freaking Rollins. That is what they are calling him now. Versus Lashley versus the champ, Big E, who did not enter last.
I did peep that. I did peep it on WWE.com that all his matches that he was in on their top 20, 25 matches of 2021 all said Seth freaking Rollins. So they're legit. That's like,
it was on his nameplate.
That's like Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yes,
it's Seth freaking Rollins.
Like that. It is like that.
That was a decision.
And versus, of course, Brock Lesnar. Suplex City early on, rapid pace. Big E clotheslined Brock pretty hard out of the ring. Lashley on the outside spears Brock through the barricade. Our first interaction, finally, of Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. When Brock eventually tried to get back in the match, Seth with a suicide dive and held Lesnar down for Kevin Owens' frog splash off the apron. Big E with a Uranagi on Lashley through the announce table. Rollins and Owens with a double DDT on the steel steps. Lesnar eventually returned into the ring, catching a jumping Seth freaking Rollins, for an F5 and delivering F5s to pretty much almost everybody. Big E, Rollins, Kevin Owens. And then Lashley with a spear for a great near fall. Lashley said what he was going to do earlier in the night was put Lesnar in a hurt lock and make him tap out. The hurt lock was applied, but Big E came in to break it up. Big ending on Lashley. Big ending on Brock, reversed into an F5. Brock wins the championship, pinning Big E clean in just 8 minutes, 25 seconds. He turns into Shinsuke Nakamura. And then afterwards, as Lesnar is celebrating with the WWE Championship, the camera makes sure to focus on Bobby Lashley staring a hole through Brock Lesnar, a little foreshadowing of what may be to come for Lesnar. I gave this 4.25 stars. I thought you got to start off the new year with something big. I got no problem with Brock winning. All you Big E fans need to relax. Yes, Brock is the New Day killer.
Yes,
but I am
the
not
black people killer.
The black. You want to go a bit further than that? I assumed before the match changed that Big E was going to lose the title in this match, anyways.
No,
And,
it was confirmed by Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer Radio that the plan was for Big E to win this matchup before the change.
So, but I was still in anticipation of that it was okay for him to lose. But I think losing to Brock on late notice is understandable kayfabe wise if you want to make an excuse. I'm disappointed by the length of the match, but I can understand with having to plan it so late. Props to Jamie Noble, who I think put it together. And I definitely would have been interested in how good the original Fatal 4-Way match would have been, how much longer that would have been, but who knows. So now the questions are Lesnar versus Lashley at Rumble, Lesnar defending in the Elimination Chamber, Lesnar versus Roman at Mania, title for title. Do we see this one day in the near future? A lot of questions. And of course, here's a nice shot of Brock at the hotel bar with the great one, Wayne Gretzky, two legendary Canadians on the Mount Rushmore of Canada. And Brock, of course, wearing a Coors Light shirt. Coors Light pays him, Bud Light does not. What did you think of all of this, SP?
This is a very conflicting result, for sure. First of all, the match itself, I give it 4 stars. I don't think it was long enough for a main event, but I didn't expect it to be long enough, especially if Brock Lesnar was going to win. You knew it was going to be 10 minutes or less. But I really wish it went longer because I think that we would be talking about this as the early WWE match of the year. It was fantastic for the amount of time that it was, but overall, I just think it was an unbelievably fun match that will be memorable because of the result more than anything. And I felt like everyone played their roles very well. I like the whole partnership between Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens playing into the build-up to this matchup. I like Bobby Lashley wrecking shop and being the only one that really kind of physically dominated Brock Lesnar in this match. Big E, he was there. He was there. Like he closed on Brock. He hit the big ending on Bobby Lashley. He did the Uranagi on Lashley through the table. Outside of that,
beat Lashley's ass.
Outside of that, I don't know. And then Brock Lesnar, wrecking shop. That's what he plays his role well. I think my head says that putting the title on Brock Lesnar is the right call for WWE. Because they have a matchup that they are building towards for WrestleMania for the main event of Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, and they want to make that as big as possible. Unfortunately, that goes against what all of us fans want. Unfortunately, to tell you that, yes, that goes against what we want, but to make this matchup as big as possible, to make up for the fact that this is the third time they're main eventing a WrestleMania, that this is like the 7th or 8th time they're going to be main eventing a WWE major event. You have to make this match look as appealing as possible to those naysayers that are going to say this is the 3rd time at WrestleMania. I don't want to see Roman versus Brock. I don't want to see Brock as champion. All these things, you have to negate it. You make it a champion versus champion match. You make it as big as possible. I know there's people, because I did a review with Rick Ucchino for Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast you could check out as well. And we talked about this. The question that poses is, what do you do with the Royal Rumble winner? My answer to that is you make the champion versus champion match the main event of night 2. Night 2's main event is unknown. It's going to be WWE Champion versus Universal Champion. On day one, on night one, you do the winner of the Royal Rumble versus the Universal Champion, the winner of the Elimination Chamber versus the WWE Champion, and then the winners of those matches main event night 2 of WrestleMania, because it's also a solution to the fact that WWE, unless Bayley comes back at the Royal Rumble and wins the Royal Rumble to verse Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, WWE right now doesn't have a women's match that is hot enough or appealing enough to main event a night of WrestleMania. So if you don't have Bayley, the way you have 2 main events for WrestleMania is you make the champion versus champion match night 2, and then you build up 2 championship matches for night 1.
New Japan style.
Yeah. And the reason that I'm upset about the finish is they have totally crapped all over Big E. Big E did what he needed to do to prove himself as a main eventer. He was a fantastic, an amazing company ambassador during this title reign. You know, the Fury Flight, he did the Breakfast Club. This dude has been all over. Like, he put his face out there. He's doing interviews with Pro Wrestling Illustrated. He did an absolute fabulous job as a company ambassador. He did what he needed to do outside of the ring. He did what he needed to do inside the ring with good matches versus Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins on the road to this win. But this win would have solidified his title run. So by losing, the title run is considered a bust. And that's unfortunate for someone that worked very, very hard to get to the mountaintop. I'm disappointed in WWE because they treated him like a placeholder.
I don't mind Big E losing, but I'll say that he probably shouldn't have been pinned.
They had 3 other people. Yo, my dude. Let me remind everybody that Kevin Owens was jobbing out to Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss 2 months ago. You're telling me he couldn't take the pin? You're telling me Seth Rollins, who's protected, who's only lost to like Cesaro and Edge this in the entirety of 2021. You're telling me he couldn't take the pin there? I understand, Brock. I understand, Lashley. That's where you're going in the road to WrestleMania. Okay, but there's 2 other guys there that are heels that could have lost. They treated Big E dirty.
Josh, your thoughts?
Yeah, the match was a 4 to me. It was pretty short. I didn't realize how short it was, by the way, just because none of those guys, when you watch the match, there was like no room of breathing for that match. Everybody just kept going and going during that match. Besides that, I mean, I'm not really surprised Brock won just because it's Brock Lesnar. That's all I can really say to that. But in regards to Big E's run, yeah, like I was saying it yesterday. I was like, his run hasn't been great, but it hasn't been terrible. And I think last night kind of proved that he just wasn't the guy. Like that he was the guy they weren't going with. Just like the way that he won the title. Remind you, he won the title from Hot Shot Booking, and they pretty much
never forget.
Yep. And even with that, like those matches that he was being booked in, they were Hot Shot Booking matches. So to me, he never had a chance. And I remember like I saw a stat too that while he was champion, he had 7 losses as a champion. So to me, that just goes to show me that he was just never the guy. They were gonna choose their moment to take off the belt on him. And last night was the moment. So, I mean, when it comes to that, I can't really say, oh, I'm shocked, I'm surprised, just because, like, I already saw how it was going. Like, his title run wasn't strong. You know, it wasn't definitely, like, that weak, because he did have successful title defenses. But I think it was only, like, 3 or 4. But besides,
not even. He had 1 successful title defense against Bobby Lashley inside a steel cage. That's it.
But then,
no, Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre as well. But then, I mean, after that, it's
Austin Theory. Actually, it's 3. It's 3.
Austin.
I totally forgot that Austin Theory won.
But Austin Theory. I mean, come on. Like,
you're trying to forget the egg. That's why you're trying to. They both go hand in hand.
But it's like, Yeah, but I actually agree with that. Like he just wasn't. He was. This feels very tight, like title placeholder. Like it really does feel like that. So it's unfortunate.
Let's read some of your thoughts on this in the comments. Keep them coming, guys. We can't read everything, but if you got something important you really want to say, send a super chat. Of course, it helps out the channel. Alan Weinstein, this pay-per-view was terrible. I cannot believe we have fucking Brock Lesnar as champ again. Our good brother Kelvin Klander, day one was mid. Chase Oliver. Shout out to the seat fillers, did their job. Alan says Edge versus Miz and Usos versus New Day for the millionth time were the best matches on the card. DJ Eric.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we're going to disagree there.
Miz and Edge went way too long.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yeah. Someone get Jimmy I Hate Good Wrestling Macram on here to get his thoughts on WWE Day One.
Yo, there's someone in the comments for AE Rambo that's just like, these guys just disagree for the sake of disagreeing. It's not entertaining. You guys have to realize that although you think it's disagreeing for the sake of disagreeing, Jimmy and Marcus are legitimately saying their thoughts on the show. That is their honest thoughts. Whether you agree with it or not, they don't give a damn. At least I comment and reply to y'all. So for anyone who gets upset by their opinions, that's what makes a good show. Difference in opinions.
Chase, this was a light version of the SummerSlam 4-way. I did get some vibes from that match. Remember that one?
Yeah, I did. No, I did as well. It's just it was a lot different just because the one from SummerSlam was longer, but then also Brock actually did less in that match because he was out in the ring for like 10 minutes.
Frantic World, what is up? The Cal Ripken of the chat. Do you guys think that WWE will end the brand split? What? Why not? Why not? You're gonna unify the world championships. Unify them all. No,
that's the solution is you combine the titles and one champion goes across two shows. You don't end the
I'll
brand
take that for
split.
The women too.
Yeah,
the tag teams too.
Yeah, there should be one world champion, one tag team champion, one women's champion. You can have individual like TV titles, which is the US and the Intercontinental title, but I feel like those two titles probably should be unified right now.
What's up, Diamond Stud, watching us on Twitch? So in the morning before the champion lands, who was Big E's gonna lose to? Lashley, maybe. No, Big E was apparently going to win. Who was he gonna beat? That's a different question.
I would say either Owens or Rollins he would have pinned, but the Wrestling Observer Radio did reveal that the plan was for Big E to win this one, which would have solidified and cemented him with this title reign because none of his other title matches, the steel cage match against Bobby Lashley was good, the match against Drew was good, but they didn't feel like they solidified him with the title win. But beating 3 challengers here would have done that. Unfortunately, now we're at a space where we don't know what's next for Big E, unfortunately.
Devin Brown, of course, Roman versus The Rock still far away, but making Roman a unified champion sure puts another notch on his resume to eventually get to The Rock.
Shout outs to the good brother, Devin Brown. Good sir right there. Shout outs to you.
And finally, Kareem Awit. Big E got robbed now. Now WWE is going to job him out. Do you see that happening in Big E's near future?
Like you said at the end, like they didn't even make it about Big E losing. They made it about Bobby Lashley staring at Brock Lesnar. So they literally didn't even give you like the minutes after the match before they moved on. They motherfuckers moved on already.
Speaking of moving on, let's move on back to the beginning. Day one. How do you start day one? You started, of course, with day one-ish. The Usos.
Day one.
Couldn't even get on the fucking poster. What the hell, man? They're cousins on the poster.
They couldn't even get on the fucking graphic in the background here.
That's my fault. I should have added them.
You could have put them like right behind them in like little miniature form too.
I completely forgot that Xavier Woods is from the ATL.
Oh, so I knew I was stupid. If anyone picked the New Day, you were stupid if you found out that Xavier was from Atlanta and you thought they were going to win.
some nice spots in this match. The alley oos, the Samoan drop, that thing is a thing of beauty. Jay with the super kick while Kofi's doing the trouble in paradise. Double Uso splash on Kofi, broken up by Woods. Woods then tries to crossbody to the outside, gets super kicked in the process, and the Usos win with a 3D. Afterwards, I like Jay showing respect to the New Day. I don't know if that was breaking kayfabe or what, but I thought this match was awesome. I gave it 4.25 stars. This match went 17 minutes, 5 seconds. What do you say, SP?
Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. This was a hot opener to the show. These two teams, regardless of the 1,000,000th times they have gone against each other, they just know how to find a way to make it different from their last matchup. And I think that they kind of overexhausted this matchup on the build up to this. There was no reason we needed to see these two teams go at it twice. 2-on-2, and then once in a 3-way on the road to this matchup. But even despite all of that, these two teams worked their asses off. Great spots, great energy from the crowd. They got the crowd invested into the show even more. So hats off to all 4 men, because regardless of how many times WWE wants to do this matchup, they seem to always deliver.
Josh?
I gave it 4 stars. I wasn't really looking forward to this match just because, like what you said, I've seen it too many times. But, they still delivered. That was a good way to open the show. I felt the right team won just because I didn't want to see New Day winning for the 25th time. But then also kind of defeats the purpose of, if you go in this direction with Xavier Woods, making one the King of the Ring just for him to win the same title again. Like, that's how I see it. But but the match delivered. That's all you can really ask for.
And I really love the finish. I like just ending a match a different way you don't expect. The 3D, that was cool.
Yeah, I like them using it. They had to talk to Devon. Probably we'll find out Devon was the producer for this match. So it was a nice little ode. And if the Usos are using this going forward, it gives them a nice little double team move, because it's really been almost a decade they've been using the Uso splash to end all their matches. So.
And they both fucking do the Uso splash like individually. So it's like, please guys, do something different. So I'm fine with it.
Chase Oliver, the Usos versus the New Day is like a fast food burger. You may get sick of it, but man, sometimes it hits the spot.
That's kind of sad. Analogy. Yeah, that's kind of sad, but he has a good point on that.
Speaking of not hitting the spot, Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss.
I nearly fell asleep.
It takes Drew McIntyre 9 minutes 45 seconds to defeat this guy with a Claymore, and this made Drew look so weak to me that it took that long in what should be a TV match at best, not a show here on day one. I would have rather seen the tag team match he put on the pre-show. Sid?
These motherfucking fans are hilarious to me. They legitimately are trying to convince themselves, like, no, it's not gonna be Brock, and this is a signal. Brock Lesnar winning the WWE title is a signal. We're not getting Roman versus Brock at WrestleMania. Oh, who's Roman gonna verse instead? Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is gonna be the guy to verse Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre, that took nearly 10 minutes to beat Madcap Moss. Are you fucking delusional? Are you fucking loony? Do you need to be in a room with the walls that are padded? Are you kidding me? In WWE, I'm sorry, you had a good thing going with Happy Corbin, and you've given him an albatross in Madcap Moss, and you had a good thing going with Drew McIntyre. It seemed like you were going to turn him back into, the top babyface that we remember and love. Nope, that ain't happening either, because then it was revealed by PW Insider and Fightful Select that Drew McIntyre is injured. and may be out for an extended period of time. It's up in the air right now. So all of those thoughts of those people that tried to convince me that McIntyre was the guy to verse Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, I didn't think it was that hot when Triple H tried to compare it to fucking Austin and Rock. I didn't think it was hot after Survivor Series 2020, even though they had a great match. And I don't think it's hot right now in January, 3 months away from WrestleMania. We're getting Brock versus Roman. People just need to cut it out. I gave this match 2 stars. It was good for what it was, but no way should have gone nearly 10 minutes.
And piggybacking on what you said, Drew was later written off of television with a injury angle backstage where Corbin and Moss attacked him, steel chair around his neck, hit him with a like a steel structure. And I wish the best for Drew. I hope it's nothing serious. I know he's gonna get testing done, and you'll hope to see Drew McIntyre back soon on the SmackDown side. Josh, anything else on this?
Yeah, I gave it like 2 stars. I mean, it was just a waste of time. But now looking back at it, I guess maybe that's why Moss did more, just because, Drew has a legitimate neck injury, which nobody still doesn't know like how long he's going to be out. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. But yeah, the match definitely went way too long.
Street Profits versus RK Bro for the Raw Tag Team titles. RK Bro accompanied to the ring by the greatest group in the world, Migos.
And they kept saying that.
Migos didn't get smartened up. You're not supposed to dap Byron Saxton at the announce table. You're not supposed to do that. He's not cool. And Atlanta loved themselves some Randy Orton. Montez Ford didn't do too much favors for himself, doing a Harlem Shake in Atlanta. That's a no-no. The end of the match, Riddle popped up forward for Orton to hit his RKO. Looked beautiful. This match went 11 minutes, 15 seconds. I gave it 3 1/4. Afterwards, Migos celebrates with RK Bro. If you noticed, you could see Dawkins break character on the outside, checking on Ford, but still fanboying and saying, "What's up to Migos?" The Profits recovered and then shook hands with Orton and Riddle, while the Migos trio applauded. My thoughts, in retrospect, not a great idea to have the Street Profits in this match.
Yes.
Migos not siding with them.
Yes. Then it was very jarring at first. Very jarring.
It made them seem unhip, not cool, not for the culture, heels, and most importantly, lame. There should have been heels in this spot against RK Bro. If you knew Migos was going to do this with RK Bro ahead of time, shame on you. And if you didn't know, then also shame on you, because you should book ahead and know this ahead of time.
Also, shame on you. I thought the match was good. I thought it was very, like you said, the crowd was very much into Randall Keefe. He was feeling the crowd energy a lot, and this match had a lot of energy within it. I thought that both tag team matches on this night delivered. RK Bro is clearly very, very over, which, I think the plan is for them to break up ahead of WrestleMania for a matchup. But right now, I'm just like, man, who do you go to in your tag team division that's going to be hotter than these guys? Like, it's these guys and the Usos, and they beat the Usos at Survivor Series, so they're the top tag team.
Unify the belts, baby. They're the division.
I wouldn't mind it. They're the top tag team in WWE right now. So, like I said, I give it a 3.5 stars. Good match. The Migos placement, very confusing. I had people sending me the pictures of them, with Randy Orton. They are apparently big fans of Orton, and that's all fine and dandy. It just is very jarring before you explain that to me, that they are coming out with RK Bro over the Street Profits. I agree with everything Romeo said. It did not do the Street Profits any favors.
Josh?
I gave it 3 1/4. Match was decent. I think they focused way too much on that group. But besides that, yeah, the match was okay.
My boy Blue was at the arena last night. He says everything I said was said at the arena last night. None of it made sense.
I love that.
Negro Buck Nick Jackson. I was really hoping Orton would RKO one of Migos.
Loving it.
I hope it was gonna be all three.
Tim Hardy, good to see you. I haven't seen you before here. Same people complaining that Big E deserved better are the same ones not watching Raw when he's the champ. Ooh.
I watch it. I watch it, and I'm telling you, he deserved better.
And Christopher Ryan Cooper with a prediction: KO and Seth go after RK Bro.
Ooh, that's probably the biggest tag team match they could give us right now in WWE.
Yeah, KO and Seth seems like it could be a lot of fun. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Edge versus The Miz. Edge bringing back the Brood entrance.
Why we don't know.
Wow, playing off of what he did with the wedding on Monday.
But this is not a big enough show to do that. Come on.
Damn, fuck Atlanta, huh?
Atlanta deserves nothing.
End of this match, Maurice hits Edge with her shoe behind the ref's back. Miz with the skull-crushing finale that Edge kicks out of. Miz then appears very concerned, looking at the stage, and it's Beth Phoenix with a slightly cartoonish, angry face.
Slightly,
yeah, like that was full on. That thing on Saturday morning.
Stupid. Yeah, that thing was stupid. Like I don't know what she was doing. Like
it's Betty. Betty's back. Beth chases off Maurice, and then you hear her talk to the Miz. I will wreck your ass, Mike. You didn't hear her say that? You didn't hear her say that?
No, I did not.
I will wreck your ass, Mike.
Wow.
Spear for the win for Edge. I gave this 2 3/4 stars. This match didn't click for me at all. Just felt like
you're way too generous on that.
Not a good match of styles.
She waited way too long on the stage for her cue as well. I would say.
Oh, that's
the whole thing was weird.
That whole thing. 20 minutes.
What?
Yeah, it went like 20 minutes. Yeah.
You thought it went shorter? Longer?
I mean, to be fair, like 10 minutes in, I was looking at my phone. So yeah, it felt long. It felt long, but to find out that it was 20 minutes, like, why would you give that match 20 minutes? You have that much faith in Edge? Like,
believe me, I said the same thing last night. It had nothing to do with Edge.
But I'm just saying, like, I understand Edge at one time he could probably be in there with a decent worker and have a great match. But Edge in 2021 ain't that guy. His best matches have been with Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Yeah, the best workers in the fucking company. Yeah. Like, don't put them in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, they put him with Miz for 20 minutes. I'm like, Miz is not that guy that goes 20 minutes in a match. You know what I mean?
Not.
It was. I don't know, man. Like
that. Go ahead, Josh. Continue.
I'm saying like that match went way too long. I'm just saying, like it. I mean, the feud was not interesting to me. It could have. I mean, it had potential, but this shit just went nowhere for me. And then the whole thing with Beth. I mean, I knew she was gonna come out. I just didn't know she was gonna be that ridiculous.
I have like no problem with what they're gonna do with the feud right now. Let Edge and Beth enjoy what they've always wanted to do, team up with each other one time. It's gonna be cool for their daughters to see. Miz and Maurice, like probably the best foil you can probably come up with to do it against. Anything else you want to say about this, Sid?
I gave the match 3 stars. It was a very pedestrian 20-minute match. I won't say it was bad. Just wasn't good. It was somewhere in the middle. So that's why I said it was adequate, if not lackluster, to say the least. I mean, they did everything well, so can't fault them for that. And then the finish, it sets up a mixed tag team match that I have no interest whatsoever in. Like, I do not want to see it. Like, and part of me would be like, if you just put this on paper to me 6 months ago, I would have said, oh, I want to see the build up to this. I don't want to see the match. I'll see the build up because the build up to Miz and Maurice versus Cena and Nikki was really good. Was one of the best going into WrestleMania 33. But I've seen Miz and Maurice versus Cena and Nikki. I've seen Miz and Maurice versus Brie and Brian. Neither one of those was good. So I don't have any interest in seeing Maurice, someone who I consider one of my favorite female wrestlers when she was wrestling, out of her prime and, you know, trying to get back into shape in this matchup. And then if, like I said, 6 months ago, I would have said I'm interested in this for the build-up. But then I look at the build-up to day one and two of an all-time great, like top 20, top 25 talkers in WWE history, Edge and Miz, never gave me an entertaining promo. Never gave me a promo that made me more interested in their match. They never did. So.
You know, like even that first promo, they just tried a little too hard. Like I think Edge tried a little too hard to shit on AEW way more than he did on Miz, and it was just weird. Like from there, it just went downhill for me. Like there was zero interest.
Why the hell did they wait so long to play Beth's music though? Says Nick Jackson.
No idea whatsoever.
I mean, why the hell did Beth look like an idiot? Like just standing there, like with an angry face. Like, yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, yo, she just tried.
She's trying to convince you that she's not Beth Phoenix, the announcer anymore. Remember,
it was like she doesn't. But that's the thing, though. That's the thing, though. She didn't need to be. She could just be Beth Phoenix. Like she never did that in her wrestling career. Why the fuck you doing this shit now? Like it doesn't matter. Like
some people out there like this match. We saw the comment earlier, and we see Chase Oliver saying Edge can't miss. Dude is on a Call of Duty kill streak since his return. Good match after good match. Loving this run from Edge.
I ain't knocking Edge. I mean, Edge has had since coming back. He's had a nice run. He's had some great matches. You know. He had a great feud with Seth Rollins. That was probably his best feud since coming back. But this match, it just wasn't it for me. Like, you know, and I love Edge.
I'm all for people being entitled to their opinion. And I never put down anyone's opinion. So if you thought this was a good match, that is all fine and dandy. I have personally talked to Chase Oliver, so I just want to tell him, whatever weed you are smoking this morning, I got you saying this. I want a referral or something of the kind, because to say that Edge hasn't missed means that you are disincluding the very first match this motherfucker had when he returned, where they went 35 minutes and had a walking brawl through the performance center to the announcers doing the fucking golf commentary. That was trash. That was trash, and no one can ever tell me otherwise.
It was.
Bro, imagine getting that weed and then watching Wrestle Kingdom. Like everything is 7 stars.
Yo, everything on that show would be 7 stars. If Edge has had good match after good match, then yeah.
Shit, even at Battle Royal will have 7 stars. And that's always the worst match of the night.
I will say Edge and Miz did pick up the energy a little bit towards the end of the match. So I can understand why some people would think they thought it was a good match. Like I said, I don't think it was good. I don't think it was bad. Somewhere in the middle.
Damian Hernandez, Beth should have came out with Edge dressed up as Gangrel. Oh, kinky. Very kinky. Wendy! That's right. We saw Wendy in the background. Hello, Wendy. Beth was making those faces my 4-year-old makes when she's mad. Says Blue. And Chase, that's cool, but man, you just put down my opinion. LOL.
No, I didn't. I'm just saying. You smoke. That would be. Oh man, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate to be forgetting the very first match Edge had. If your response to me is that I did think that Edge and Randy Orton match was good, I mean, you might not smoke right now, but you must have been under some type of influence watching it.
It's all love, Chase. It's all love.
All love, though. All love at the end of the day.
Let's move on to the Raw Women's Championship match, which was Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan. Becky Lynch with this stupid goat jacket with the freaking animal goats on the jacket. Ugh, not even the goats.
When she came out, I thought she was Priscilla Kelly. I was like, what is that going on?
That's a name I haven't heard in years. I agreed with the announcers here. This was the best performance of Liv Morgan's career, despite a bad dropkick near the end. Love that springboard sunset moonsault she did in the corner. Did not look easy. Good drama in the end with Liv having a submission on Becky. Becky reversing into a near fall. Liv goes for the oblivion, but Becky holds on and turns it into a manhandle slam for the win, clean in 17 minutes. I cannot believe I gave this 3 3/4 stars. I took off a quarter star because of the annoying screaming by Liv and the over-the-top concern and panic that Becky was trying to sell. I couldn't. First of all, it wasn't believable. You already beat this woman. Why are you so worried, Becky Lynch? You're Becky Lynch. That was annoying for me. What'd you think, SP3?
So on the first viewing of this matchup, something with it didn't click for me. I felt like the crowd was into it early on, and then it just felt like it went too long, and they kind of got less interested as the match went on, and then the ending was a very missed time. It just felt like it didn't click. Then I rewatched it this morning before we did our review, and it was kind of the opposite, where early on it felt like it didn't click, and then as the match went on, Liv and Becky started forming some more chemistry. That sunset flip off the top rope was great. One of the better things that I've ever seen Liv Morgan do. I still prefer the Raw match over this one, but I thought this was overall on the second viewing a good match, so I gave it 3 1/4 stars. You know what? Yeah, I'll go 3.5. I'll go 3.5 just to separate it from how in the middle Edge and Miz was that I gave 3 stars. Yeah, this was 3.5. Liv worked very hard, probably her best match to date, and Becky Lynch has done well to kind of get Liv Morgan over through this feud. It's one of a rare feud in WWE that I think someone coming out of it is, in a loss has gotten more over than she was previously.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I'll definitely give Becky credit for that. All you Becky Lynch fans out there, record this moment in history. Josh, what did you think?
I gave it like 3 1/4. I think their match from Raw was a little bit better. This one, I don't know. There was a few weird spots. I think they fucking focused on the crowd way too much yesterday. Like every fucking shot we're seeing like kids, which I get, but at the same time I'm like, you don't constantly have to fucking do it. And it seemed like when they were doing it, the crowd was more focused on, hey, we showed up on TV than like the actual match. That's how it came off. And then the finish was a little weird. I kind of felt like, was that supposed to happen, the finish? Like it looked like Becky was trying to like grab the ropes or something, and then she ended up winning clean anyway. It was just weird, but yeah, I thought their match was better on Raw.
Some comments in the chat. Chase says, worst moment of the show. Liv had to win. This was like instead of handing the ball to Marshawn Lynch and doing a slant route to Jermaine Curse. Also on that note, Christopher Ryan Cooper, Liv was great. Maybe let her win the Rumble and then win the title at WrestleMania. Just my dream booking for Liv as a fan of her in-ring work, but she does need work on the mic. We know this won't happen.
Yeah, it won't. Like it just won't. That's why I told people once Liv lost that Raw match, they weren't gonna have her win at day one, because the thing WWE does is rely on nostalgia to create new moments. So the move for them would have had Liv beat Becky on the Raw 17-year anniversary of the Lita Trish match more than it is doing a title change on a pay-per-view. I'm sorry to tell you, going into WrestleMania, no matches with Liv as champion is as interesting as Becky as champion.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's not.
And I might as well discuss what happened on the pre-show. Sheamus and Ridge Holland defeated Ricochet and Cesaro in 9:45. Holland suffered a broken nose during this move and had to leave the match. Sheamus able to overcome the 2-on-1 odds was a bit ridiculous, but hey. And our good brother Riccucino had a great idea that Sheamus should pass on that stupid face mask to his protege now. It just makes all the sense in the world. Why not?
It does. It does. They should start just to add to this feud with Cesaro. They should just be calling themselves the Bar 2.0. They just need to go all the way with it because that everybody's thinking it. So why not just go with it? Why not? I mean, I did actually just watch this match this morning. It was pretty good for what it was, except the injury. It's nothing they can control. So I gave it 2.5 stars. So.
And Josh, you didn't watch this, right?
I had no clue there was a pre-show match.
Not even when they recapped it during the main show.
Had no idea.
I had no clue. I didn't even see the recap. I probably just didn't pay attention at that part.
Like, have people just forgotten WrestleMania 36 or something? Damian Hernandez
stunk.
Damian Hernandez says, "What the hell was wrong with that Edge and Orton match? That match was the best of that WrestleMania, other than the Boneyard match. That match was better than Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. That match was better than Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Because those matches happened on that show. I just want to let you know." Unless if you forgot, if that misplaced that was better than Jimmy Uso versus John Morrison versus Kofi Kingston in a ladder match.
No.
Like I'm just saying, I need people to understand that maybe in the moment you thought that, but I rewatch a lot of wrestling because sometimes in the moment I think something like I said last night. Last night, I did the review for Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast, and I was like, yeah, Becky and Liv didn't really click for me. It just didn't click. I felt like the crowd got out of it. And then I rewatched it, and I was like, no, I was wrong. They worked really hard. They had a good match that the fans was invested to. I think you should rewatch Edge and Orton back, or rewatch the entire WrestleMania back if you really think it was the best match other than Boneyard.
It wasn't even better than the Cena and Wyatt. That wasn't even a match.
Agreed all the way around.
It's just that match, it went way too long, and then there was so many times where they didn't do nothing. That was the problem. The match went long, right? I don't have a problem with a match going 30, 40, 45 minutes, but when you have a match that goes that long and you do absolutely nothing for like 10, 15 minutes, that's where it's a problem. And that's what that match was. Like, that's what happened. The shit didn't work out. Like,
And
at least it made up for, it made up at the next match they had. It made up for that, but the match was not good. Like,
let's wrap up this roundtable review. We'll give our match of the night, MVP, LVP, thumbs up or thumbs down, and we'll rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. And vote in the YouTube chat if you haven't already to also vote on it. Match of the night: Usos versus New Day.
I'll go with the 4-way. I mean the 5-way. I thought that was just nonstop action. I felt like the New Day and Usos, it took me a while to kind of get into that one. While the 5-way, they had my attention from the beginning with the addition of Brock Lesnar, and they kept it for the entire duration.
That would have been my match of the night if it was a little bit longer. Yeah. Josh?
The 5-way match was match of the night for me.
MVP, Brock Lesnar.
MVP easily for me, Brock Lesnar. I love Brock Lesnar.
Oh man, I hate to say it, but yeah, I'm gonna go call MVP actually, because like I said, to double down on the fact that I was wrong. When you listen to Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast and you see I was wrong about their matchup, I'm going to go with Brock and Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, I felt stepped up in her match.
Look at that. LVP, I'm sorry, Madcap Moss. It's like one guy that just didn't belong with everyone else on the show.
What about not Drew? Drew took him almost 10 minutes to beat him. Like,
I feel bad for Drew with his real life condition. So I'm not gonna give him LVP.
All right, that makes sense.
Who you got?
I kind of want to go Drew just because people try to tell me.
Come on, the guy's got
people,
his neck checked out.
People try to tell me that's who's gonna challenge Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. The guy that took 10 minutes to beat Madcap Moss. No, I'll give it to Madcap. That promo was horrible. That promo beforehand. Like, if anyone was going to be interested in that match, they killed it before the match the bell even rang.
Yeah.
Guys, like Vince, there's better guys on NXT that you could give a spot for than Madcap Moss. Josh, did you give your LVP?
Not yet. I'm gonna give it to Big E.
Shit. You're fucked up, sir. That's fucked up. It's not his fault.
Hey, it's not his fault, but at the same time, I mean, the match itself, he was probably the most unmemorable guy in the match, and he was the champion, and then he gets pinned. Not even somebody else. He gets pinned.
We'll put our thumbs out, and in 3, 2, 1, it'll be thumbs up or thumbs down or thumbs in the middle. 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up from me and Sid. Thumbs in the middle from Josh. Let's rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. I really enjoyed 3 matches. The show obviously hurt by no Roman. I'll give it a 6.2. This was the best and worst pay-per-view of the year. Sid?
That's probably the greatest explanation for a rating that you ever given. He said it's the best and the first. It's the best, the worst, and the first pay-per-view of 2022. I'll go 6.5 out of 10. I thought that the opener was very good. I thought that the main event was great for what it was. I enjoyed Becky and Liv on second viewing. I even enjoyed RK Bro versus the Street Profits. Really, by my distaste for this pay-per-view was Drew McIntyre and Madcap Moss and Big E jobbing in the main event. So that is why I'll go 6.5. Nothing out of this world, nothing that I'll probably remember by December of this year, but it was a good show.
Maybe not even by Tuesday, Wednesday.
Probably not. By February, probably not.
Maybe not by the end of this week. There's so much wrestling this week. Josh?
It was about like a 5.5 for me. Like 5.5 would be like this, right?
Yeah.
Like 5.5, yeah. It was like like it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. And like what Sid said, it's not going to be a memorable pay-per-view. That's all it really comes down to for me.
And let's read some final comments in the chat before we get on out of here. Nick Jackson, 5-way was match of the night for me despite the finish. MVP Brock. Christopher Ryan Cooper, agree that 5-way had me from Jump Street. I assume he meant nonstop action. LVP Angelo Dawkins, says Nick Jackson. Good live stream. Thank you, Frantic World. Chase Oliver, Lashley was my MVP. He had me more hype for a future Lesnar encounter.
That's true.
Damian Hernandez is back. He says the only reason I say that match was great is because seeing Edge come back at his age and do what he did in that match, putting his body in hell. I mean, come on.
That's bullshit. You can't say a match is great just because of that. Like, come on. If the match is bad, the match is bad. The match is good, the match is good. Like, that's bullshit.
You could put your body on the line and hurt yourself in a bad match. I'm not saying
Goldberg does that all the time.
I'm not taking away from anything that Edge did in the match. I appreciate him putting his body on the line, but
he even tore his tricep in the next match, and that
was better. That was better.
The greatest match of all time.
Oh, let's not go that far.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just reporting.
The greatest match of all time. ... that Edge and Orton have ever had.
that was taped. LVP Migo, says Chase. Nick says 6.5 out of 10. Chase says 6 out of 10. Let's see the poll. 5% of you are trolling, giving us a 9 or 10. 29% of you gave it an 8. 14% gave it a 7. 52% of you, the majority, give this anywhere between a 0 and a 6.
That's fair. That's fair. That's actually fair. That's fair.
That's fair.
Anywhere between 0 and 6.
To say 9 or 10, get the fuck out of here. Like, what? 9 and 10.
This is a good final question from Damian. I'll have it on the
Damian
screen
redeeming himself.
because we've given him a hard time on this stream too.
It is a good question.
Question: if Roman and Brock did happen, do you think Brock would have still won? I do think Brock would have won. I think that's the only way you get this. If you did the match on this show, the only way you get it to WrestleMania is Brock winning, because they would have fit the story. Because with Paul Heyman, Roman beat him. Without Paul Heyman, he would have lost, setting up the third match, setting up a story of will Roman try to get Heyman back on his side. So it would have created a lot of different angles for the story to go.
Yeah, I could see that. I thought Roman was going to win just because I thought it was going to be a ruse, and I thought they were going to do that shit with Heyman there. But
me too.
Unfortunately, we won't know now.
I mean, I guess you're right with you telling me the news that Big E was scheduled to win, because I thought the title change would have came in that match. But since you're telling me that Big E would have won, then yeah, I'm going to assume that Brock would have been the change.
Yeah.
That is going to do it for this roundtable review. We thank you all for joining us. Let me tell you about all the great content on the channel right now and coming up this week. We've got great recap videos, top 10 major shows, top 10 women's wrestlers, top 10 wrestlers dropping later today, if I'm not mistaken.
Top 10 matches as well. There you go.
Top 10 matches. There you go. Also on Monday, we got Rated Raw Superstars, me and Drunk Guy JJ. On Tuesday, we've got a New Year's Evil watch along. On Wednesday, we have the AEW Dynamite TBS premiere watch along. Also, I don't know what day it is, but we are going to be awake in the morning at 3 a.m.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
That's Tuesday morning? Okay.
Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning.
For us. All right. There we go. So I have to go from New Year's Evil straight into Wrestle Kingdom. Great.
For us. Yeah.
Short nap. Wrestle Kingdom watch along. If you're up, say hi to us. We'll be watching. And also, we've got at the end of the week, what is it? Impact.
Saturday Night Warriors with Impact, Hard to Kill, and AEW Battle of the Belts.
Holy shit. So, what a week. Join us for all that. Josh, where can everyone find you? Thank you for joining us here.
They can find me at JMPunk321 on Twitter and Instagram.
True Hill Romeo for me. I already told you everything. Sid?
At True Hill SP3 on the Twitter machine. You can see my written work over at sportskita.com as well as wrestletalk.com. I just released a feature for WrestleTalk 10 AEW matches we need to see in 2022. For Sportskita, I just did the 5 defining moments of WWE in 2021. So you can check out both of those over on those sites. And on YouTube, you can find me on the Believe Podcast YouTube channel and anywhere you listen to podcasts with Rick Ucchino. Believe in Pro Wrestling Podcast episode 1, where we reviewed day 1, is available right now. And you can also see me on Sportskita Wrestling YouTube channel on Fridays with Dutch Mantel and Rick Ucchino on Smack Talk. But thank you, fellas, for coming on here and reviewing the show. I had a good time. Got to get out my frustrations with them pinning Big E and treating him like trash. And wrestling hates black people in 2022. That's what I've been convinced. Owners telling black women to shut up, and your wrestling ain't good enough. You got WWE making every single African American on their roster lose last night. Wrestling hates black people in 2022, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
What a review. What a review. If you're watching this after the fact, like this video, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about this show and everything we talked about. For Josh, for SB3, I am Romeo. I am going to put this white Canadian on screen. Wrestling loves white Canadians. Thank you for joining us here on this day 1 roundtable review. We'll see you next time.